Barcelona versus Real Madrid. Probably the fiercest rivalry in the history of football. The kind of rivalry where even mentioning the other club in a positive way can spark an argument. And I'm not talking about some Instagram argument. I'm talking about a full-blown, even political debate. Now just imagine, a player transferring directly between these two giants. Sounds ridiculous, right? Especially with the Instagram comment I just made. Well, in the year 2000, the ridiculous became reality. And this is the story of how one man went from being adored in Barcelona to being the most hated footballer in the city's history, and how one single transfer almost tore a club apart. Luis Figo, a name football fans will always associate with one of the greats of the game, especially if you're a Real Madrid fan. Born on November 4th, 1972 in Almada, Portugal, Figo's journey started young. At just 12 years old, he joined Sporting CP's academy, one of the best places in Portugal to learn the game. Fast forward to April 2nd, 1990, and the 17-year-old made his league debut for Sporting. The very next season, he scored his first goal. It was already clear to anyone watching that this kid wasn't just good, he was sensational and special. And when you're that talented, the big European clubs come knocking. In fact, Figo caused a bit of drama early on. He actually signed contracts with two Italian clubs, Juventus and Parma, which earned him a 2-year ban from moving to Italy. A little foreshadowing of how messy things could get in his career, obviously. Interestingly, before he ever went to Spain, he was even recommended to Manchester City by former coach Malcolm Allison. But fate had other plans. In 1995, Barcelona came calling. A club full of legends, a city obsessed with football, and a stage big enough for his talent. The transfer fee? £2.25 million. An absolute bargain actually in hindsight. At Barca, Figo's career exploded. He played alongside icons like Ronaldo, the Brazilian one of course, who also later moved to Real Madrid from Barcelona, though that transfer didn't stir up nearly as much outrage as Figo's would. Figo was more than just a great player. He was a hero to Barcelona fans. One unforgettable moment was when he dyed his hair in the club's colours during a speech to the fans, a gesture that seemed like a declaration of loyalty. Until a few years later. By the numbers, Figo made 172 appearances for Barcelona, scoring 30 goals and winning a glittering set of trophies. 2 La Liga titles, 1 Copa del Rey, 1 Supercopa de España, a UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, and a UEFA Super Cup. He wasn't just a player for Barca, he was the player, the face of the team, a beacon for the coolers. Real Madrid, Barcelona's ultimate enemy. This is a rivalry built on politics, culture, and decades of footballing battles. Players don't just cross that divide. It's a career-ending move in the eyes of many fans. Enter Florentino Perez. In 2000, Perez was the richest man in Spain and running for president of Real Madrid. He had a vision, the Galacticos era, signing one global superstar every year. And for his first statement signing, he wanted Luis Figo. Perez's approach was bold. He offered Figo's agent £1.6 million, not to sign for Madrid immediately, but to sign a promise. The deal was simple. If Perez won the election, Figo would join Madrid. If not, Figo kept the money. Perez, he actually won. And just like that, Madrid triggered Figo's release clause, a then world record fee. And Barcelona's hero was no more. To make matters worse, in the very same year, Figo was awarded the Ballon d'Or. Not for his performances at Real Madrid, but for his performances at Barcelona. It was like twisting the knife. When Figo returned to the Camp Nou on October 21st, 2000, the atmosphere was beyond hostile. Banners calling him scum and Judas hung around the stadium. The noise was deafening. He was pelted with oranges, bottles, and infamously a pig's head. The abuse was so intense, he refused to take corner kicks near the home fans, and he was especially good at corner kicks. He didn't even want to take throw-ins. Barcelona won 2-1 that night, and Perez later admitted that the atmosphere got to everyone on the pitch. Despite the backlash, Figo found success at Madrid. He won the Liga in 2001, scoring 14 goals, and that same year he was announced FIFA World Player of the Year. When we returned to the Camp Nou on November 23, 2002, something in him had changed. The fury had dulled. The abuse was still there, beer bottles and all, but Figo didn't flinch. He took corners, he took throw-ins, he kept his poker face. And in doing so, he proved he was a mentality monster. Figo stayed at Real Madrid for 5 seasons, winning 2 league titles, 2 Supercopas, the UEFA Champions League, a UEFA Super Cup, and the Intercontinental Cup. So, was Figo right or wrong to make the move? He said in interviews before that he never really felt appreciated at Barcelona. Personally, I think he was appreciated, but maybe not in the way he wanted. Whatever you think of him, one thing's for sure. This was one of the most dramatic transfers in football history. It didn't just change a player's career. It shook the entire footballing world. What about you? Was Figo justified? Was he a traitor? Or was he just a professional making the best choice for his career? Let me know your opinion in the comments. I can't wait to read your thoughts. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me for the next football story.